Voice of Vietnam. I'm Kim Si. On today's program, Into the News, we review last week's major world events. Current affairs will look at overseas economies, resources, contributing to national development. Then Poets of Vietnam's 34 ethnic groups will introduce you to flute melodies of the Peruvian Kio ethnic group in Quang Binh province. Finally, Personality of the Week will profile village elder Hu Thanh Binh, a pioneer in economic development in La Paz, Quảng Trị province. But first, here's the news. In the news headlines, National Assembly discusses socio-economic performance in first months of 2015. The armies of Vietnam and Brunei forge closer links, and the FICO seeks to form an economic community. Now the news in detail. The National Assembly deputies discussed on Monday national socio-economic performance last year and during the first month of this year. Reports indicated an increase of 1.84% in the consumer price index last year, making it easier for the implementation of monetary and fiscal policies, as well as the attachment of inappropriate public services. The first quarter of 2015 also saw an increase of 6.0% in GDP, the highest rate in the past 5 years. Business production has maintained recovery momentum thanks to improvements in both supply and demand. Deputies proposed solutions to restructuring the economy in line with renewing the growth model, with priorities given to restructuring state-owned enterprises and public investment. Nguyễn Cao Sơn is a deputy from Hòa Bình province.
Chính phủ cần thực hiện đồng bộ quyết liệt các giải pháp tái cơ cấu doanh nghiệp.
Stronger measures are required to restructure employees. I propose the government submits a report to the National Assembly asking for continued issuance of government bonds in the 2016-2020 period, increase resources for development investment, with priority given to upgrading transport infrastructure. The government should allocate more money from state budget to support businesses with projects specialized in agriculture and rural areas, while establishing regional agricultural connectivity mechanisms. Lawmakers asked the National Assembly and government to improve investment environment and address difficulties facing production and business activities. Lê Thị Công is a deputy from Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province.
Mục tiêu chủ yếu của chính sách kinh tế năm 2015 và những năm tiếp theo
policies in 2015 and the coming years is to improve growth quality and renew the growth model based on productivity, efficiency and competitiveness. It's necessary to develop and make full use of several factors, including human intellect and human resources, while improving state management. Voters nationwide have closely followed the 9th session of the 13th National Assembly, which discussed the implementation of last year's socio-economic plan and state budget, and the socio-economic situation from the beginning of this year. Nguyễn Văn Hiền, a voter in Ho Chi Minh City, said, the macroeconomy has been stable and economic growth has showed positive signs. In order to attain this year's economic target, it's necessary to effectively deal with bad debt. We also have to stabilize foreign currency exchange rates to support exports, which has not reached the targets for the first 5 months. Voters in Gia Lai province appreciated the government's macroeconomic policies to bring the economy out of its difficult period and obtain an economic growth rate of 5.98%, an export surplus of $2.1 billion. Gia Lai voters agreed on the need to find reliable outlets for agricultural products. The armies of Vietnam and Brunei should forge closer links by increasing the exchange of high-level visits. Defense Minister General Phùng Quang Thanh made the suggestion during his reception on Monday for the Royal Brunei Armed Forces Commander Major General Tahin bin Abdullah, who is leading a delegation on an official visit to Vietnam from June the 7th to the 9th at the invitation of the Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, Senior Lieutenant General Đỗ Bá Tị. Minister Thanh said he believes that the visit will contribute to boosting defense ties between the two countries for peace and stability in the region and the world. The Ministry of Health held a teleconference with its departments in 63 provinces on the surveillance and treatment of the MERS-CoV disease if it spreads to Vietnam. The Ministry of Health has asked the local authorities and health departments to actively identify MERS-CoV infected people to prevent it from spreading to the community. Suspected and infected people should be immediately quarantined, and health workers must apply the necessary preventive measures. Health Minister Nguyễn Thị Kim Tiến said MERS-CoV could spread to Vietnam via people returning from epidemic areas. Vietnam has reported no MERS-CoV cases, but complicated developments in the epidemic in the Republic of Korea has prompted Vietnam to be vigilant. The Vietnam Fisheries Association denounced Chinese ships for obstructing the rescue of Vietnamese fishermen and attacking Vietnam's fishing vessels, saying they are inhumane and violated the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. In documents sent to the government office, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Body Central Committee Commission for External Relations, the association asked China to immediately stop their aggressive acts. The association also continued to help the fishermen to better understand the human growth and the extent of Vietnam's traditional fishing grounds. And now some more news. Leaders of the world's 7 leading industrial powers convened in Germany on Sunday to discuss economics, trade and security and foreign policy. The 7 leaders agreed to speed up the transatlantic trade and investment partnership negotiations with the hope of achieving a specific outcome later this year. Most of the leaders mentioned the Greek debt and Ukrainian crisis in their speeches. The European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker asked Greece to quickly release details of new reforms to its economy. Regarding the Ukrainian crisis and relations with Russia, the German Chancellor Angela Merkel and US President Barack Obama said they would ease sanctions against Russia if the Minsk deal was fully implemented.